Everyone, my name is Ansley Runk, and I am very excited to be here today to talk to you about STEAM Makerspace, the importance of them in the classroom, the uprising of them here across the world in classrooms, and what the point of a makerspace is, and why you should incorporate them into your classroom. So let's get started. So a big question right now is why Makerspace? What is so great about Makerspace and why should you be implementing them into your classroom? So Makerspaces are a great way to provide opportunity to learn something new with discovery. They're all based on discovery. So allowing students to experiment and find different ways to work through problems. That's what Makerspace is all about. It is a very unique way to learn for students. Very hands-on, very interactive. So it's a great way for students to feel like they are very engaged and involved in their learning. It challenges students to be creative. So no longer are we just giving students information. You're giving students information, but then they have to put it to a test. They have to be able to design and create. So they have to use their creativity skills to be able to complete challenges and make projects. They are great hands-on and interactive projects for students, which is great for students to capture their engagement. They feel like they belong in school. They want to be in school, and that's how we want young kids, really all students, to feel. They are great challenges for students, so they require them to use their problem-solving skills to be able to work through problems that may occur in their Makerspace projects. Makerspace are a great way to integrate more than one subject area, which is great in the classroom. Ones that we're particularly working with right now are math and science, and they are made cost efficient for the classroom. So we're currently getting makerspaces done in the classroom, and we are implementing them in homes too. So they're very cost efficient. Use recycled materials within the classroom, with at home, to create your awesome makerspace design. So Makerspace have great impacts on students. It's a new level of hands-on engagement. Students have been using hands-on interactive manipulatives in the classroom, but this takes it to a whole nother level. They get to design and create and really dive into the thinking that goes on with their learning. So they put their thinking to action. They come up with ideas. They get to bounce their ideas off their peers and with teachers and their families to then design their own ideas based on their thinking. So they get to create a blueprint. They get to draw out their ideas or make it on a smaller scale. So then they get to bring their ideas to life, which is probably the coolest and most creative part of the Makerspace idea. So they not only get to feel more engaged in their learning, they also put their creativity to the test and create something of their personal choice. So it challenges students to be creative and unique, which is a big part of learning. They also get to test and modify their projects based on their success. So they may find things in their makerspace that work and they'll keep those ideas, but they might find some things that don't work, and then they can go back into their makerspace design and recreate or readjust some stuff and implement new ideas. And it also brings choice into students' learning. This is probably the biggest impact on students. They feel like they belong. They feel like you hear them when you're teaching. It's not about just feeding them information and hoping that they understand. They truly get to dive in and feel like they belong in the classroom and they belong in this learning environment, which is so important for students. So while makerspaces are a great open idea, you still have to support their learning and their growth in the classroom, and you have to assess their growth. So makerspaces are great for allowing room for error within this project. So if students find that they are coming up on an error and something isn't working, they have unlimited opportunities to modify their project. So they might get stumped. They can talk to their peers. They can talk to their teacher, find some things that maybe somebody else suggests, and then go back and rework their makerspace to then be able to test again. So it also draws the ability to ask questions and discuss ideas. Very open conversation, very open ideas. within the classroom. And then they get to draw blueprints before building their projects, which is pretty cool, because then they can see, maybe in their mind, they think something is going to work, so they put it down on paper. Maybe they find that it doesn't work before they start constructing their project. So assessment within the Makerspace, they will be assessed based on their ability to problem solve when errors occur. So if they find something in their project that doesn't work, how well do they go back and adjust and then retest their Makerspace? The strength of their overall project. Does it meet challenge guidelines? So for this particular Makerspace, does it hold water without leaking, and does it carry objects the furthest distance from the bottom of the water slide? Their creativity in the materials used. So it's not about going out and buying a ton of materials to be able to make this Makerspace. It's about finding things around the house that you could put together to fulfill this project, and their originality within the design and sculpting final project. So no Makerspace is going to be the same. No two students are going to have the same project, which brings in the originality to this project, which is super important for all students. So in this particular Wacky Wicked water slide Makerspace, and in any Makerspace, you have the ability to incorporate more than one subject into your learning. So for this particular Makerspace, we're focusing on math concepts and science concepts. So some math concepts that will be covered are the use of the bar graphs to display objects' travel distance, and the use of standard measurement. So they're going to measure objects and how far they travel from the end of their water slide. And then that's what the data that they'll be transferring to their bar graphs. Some science concepts, they're going to design and construct a water slide. So that's pretty much the big science aspect. And most of them, they're going to be designing and constructing something and then testing their project. So they're going to create predictions before they construct. So what materials do they think will work best for their water slide? What materials do they think will work and be the strongest to hold up their projects? That kind of stuff. And they're going to use the scientific method. They're going to develop their own individual ideas. They're going to be able to test those ideas, and then they're going to be able to make modifications to then be able to test again for their ideas. They will also have to use their problem solving skills when they run into an error with their design. So if they find something that doesn't work, they'll have to problem solve and think through their ideas to hopefully come up with a solution that then can be implemented into their design for them to be able to test again. So this integrating more than one subject is your cross-curricular aspect, which is super important for students, especially at a younger age. It allows students to make connections within the subjects. So it makes it easier for them to comprehend when you're attaching math to science, and you're really relating for them to be able to pull the subjects together and fully understand. It gives them real world meaning to school projects and learning, allowing them to understand that you're not just teaching them to teach them. It all has a purpose. You're going to use this later on in life. It allows for deeper learning and deeper thinking. It encourages critical thinking and making subjects more relevant, bringing it the real life, real world aspect into students' learning in the classroom. And then it encourages teachers to teach with a purpose. So I'm not just standing up here teaching to teach. I'm standing up here so that you truly understand, and you can take the information that I'm giving you and you can transfer it later on in life. So for the fun part of our Makerspace, these are some student work samples of the Wacky Wicked water slide, which was a super fun project. So some testing objects that students were able to use: marbles, toy cars, bouncy balls, Lego men, all kinds of stuff. And your ideas can be super simple, or they can be as complex as you want them to be. So here are two different samples. One, you see the paper towel and toilet paper rolls used with aluminum foil and paper clips and taped together. It works. Water goes down it. It carries objects. Students were then able to test their objects. And then over here on the right-hand side, we have some cups, some straws, some cut paper towel rolls with saran wrap, holds water, and allows objects to travel a distance. So two very different projects, all given the same guidelines. So you can see how creative and original that these projects are, and allowing the students to really express themselves through their thinking and their design in the Makerspace. So we hope, or I hope, that you will incorporate Makerspace into your classroom. And it is a great new creative way for learning that really enhances students to be engaged and ask questions and provide deeper thinking in the classroom. Thank you so much.